Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily CMO, where we discuss everything and anything that is related to marketing. Today, of course, I have on the floor our host and usual guest, Reuben, with me. And of course, we'll be discussing something that is at the heart of every marketer, which is what is the top 2023 skill that employers are looking for in marketers today. What happened was LinkedIn actually did a survey. They found a list of skills. Did anything on the list surprise you?
If I take a look at the list right here, there's marketing, which is what we are talking about, project and program management, and also sales, right? So under the marketing umbrella, right, there's social media, that's number one. So social media is like the most needed skill in 2023, you say, right? Then there's management, followed by digital marketing, communication, strategy, marketing strategy, leadership, project management, advertising, customer service. Maybe they got this data. I'm not sure where they got this data from. Maybe they got this data from like job titles that people had on LinkedIn. I think it's really worth to look at where they get this source of data and how they actually collected this data, right? To really see that source of truth. On the fence, right? Agreeing whether if social media is the number one most in demand skill by function.
When we actually drill down to the effectiveness of social media marketing in general, do you find that sometimes the ROIs that come from it is worth it,
If you look at the biggest brands or the brands you admire, right, they have a social media profile. The reason why they are on social media is because they want to build this personal relationship with their customers, with their audiences, and I think all brands need that. So this is where social media people comes in. But one thing that I want to point out is that a lot of people go into social media looking at it, oh, it's just about creating pretty content. It's just about creating nice photos. It's just about putting out nice videos. If you study the upper levels of marketing and see why is the reason, why are you even on social media, right? Then you see social media is really to get close to customers. It's important to build this affinity so that when someone thinks of something, right, they think of your brand. So that exists this whole paradigm of social media marketers, social media executive, social media content creators to feel this demand for businesses. So yeah.
What a lot of businesses don't understand is that they sort of have the perception like every piece of content that you put out needs to convert. It doesn't work that way. I think marketing is more or less when the customer is ready to buy, they suddenly develop the need for your service. You are the top image or the top solutions provider or B2B, whatever it is. A lot of companies, they tend to focus too much on the sale and they don't understand that people actually go on social media to have fun. A lot of brands that do this very effectively and they grow their channels very effectively, it's because they take the perspective of the user. They show their user enjoying the products. They collaborate with other businesses to co-promote certain products together, and they incorporate their products into the everyday life of people. They actually need all of these things to be able to incorporate everything together. And it's no magic bullet. You need different types of fertilizer to make the tree of your marketing grow faster.
And of course, the start of what we talk about, this was just like what's taught based on LinkedIn's point of view, right? But the funny thing, if you go and search for this online from other places like JobStreet or those kind of places, you'll see a total different list, right? And not surprised there, because they get the data from different sources. Well, I see that you have prepared one question here as well, right? So what's like the top skill in terms of marketing, let's just say, right? So let's say you're a marketer, you could branch off into social media, paid ads, SEO, content marketing, email marketing, all the different kind of things, or you could be a CMO overseeing all that strategy, right? What is the most biggest skill in marketing?
I would say for me, it is communication. To articulate a lot of things and to be able to say things well is half the battle.
It's very similar to yours. So I was going to say copywriting. I would say like the goal of good writing is for the reader to understand. But the goal of good copywriting is for the prospect to feel understood. So copywriting is very near to communication because you are in fact communicating to people out there. And the reason why I say copywriting is because if you look online, your YouTube videos, your social media, your email marketing, your content, it's all words. So it's not something that you can learn out from a 6-day boot camp or a weekend boot camp or guru masterclass. You can't learn that kind of stuff, right? Yes, these people might give you like templates, frameworks, but it still comes back to unique copywriting, which is not found anywhere, and it's still something that you only can learn through years of experience. Copywriting would be the number one skill, I would say. Any marketer who wants to be out there to market great products to people who need them should learn.
A lot of businesses don't realize one of the cheapest forms of communication is actually text. Sometimes just using simple and attractive headlines, it could mean the difference between the amount of attention that your audience has towards your particular social media post. One of the reasons why blogs and text-based content has continued to stand the test of time, it's mainly because it doesn't take much to upload an article. Whereas with video, you need to think about scripting, design ads, then there's branding structures and corporate identity and so on.
Now, if you are someone who wants to get hired as a marketer, tech firm or a growing company, now what do you need to be able to convince or to sell yourself during the interview stage?
Employers are really looking for things that they can take away with. It's definitely understanding and knowledge of the tools that they have existing in their own company. If the person has a background, basically you don't have to train the person anymore when they come in. And one of the ways to see if they have this background is, where do their certifications come from? So if the marketer has these certifications, there will be a certain degree of familiarity to the tools that are there.
You see marketers do this all the time in conferences, in events, in Facebook groups and all that, right? Oh, we increased customers by 500%. Wow, sounds good, right? But going from one customer to 5 customers is also 500%, right? The second thing is, a lot of people use big words. Like I can use a lot of big words also. Oh, let's talk about real-time bidding, and programmatic advertising. And this is like the way we can scale our advertising to that next level. My general rule is, the more big words someone is using, the more they don't understand about what they're talking about. Right. Be very aware when you're actually dealing with such people. I think certifications are good to a certain extent. Kind of like know the fundamental knowledge of platforms. But what I think really makes a difference, right, is if you have a portfolio. When I say portfolio, it's not basically a resume, but a portfolio of real projects. So a couple of examples. What I would do if I had no clients, I'm a young guy, maybe I'm 17 years old, 18 years old, just finished high school, I want to get into marketing, right? Now, I'll probably go and knock on some doors of some businesses I admire, and what I'll do is I do it for free. Or at the very least, right, do the work for them, and just ask for a commission or a revenue share. That's it, right? So the risk is very low on the business's side. And most of them would say, yeah, few good things happen here. Number one is you learn on the job. Number two, you find out what you really want to go into. Maybe you find that, oh, I really like social media. That could be something that you want to fully immerse yourself into, right? Number three, if all goes well, you also get paid if you ask for a revenue share maybe. And number four, you get a portfolio to put inside your site or somewhere. If you compare two candidates, right, coming to a company, candidate number one has a bunch of certifications, right? I have one from HubSpot, I have one from Google, I have one from Facebook and all these places, right? Candidate B has real portfolio, maybe on his blog, on his website, detailing how he actually handled some case, some brands, some businesses, and helped them grow by maybe 500%. Now, who's going to get the job, right? The employer is going to see, okay, you have paper certification, that's great, you have your fundamentals, but candidate B has real life experiences. He has actually helped a business go from A to B, A to Z. Now, if I'm an employer, I'm going to lean towards the candidate B rather than candidate A, because candidate A probably has a lot of knowledge but have not put that into practice. Bank in on your real life experience rather than certificates.
Certification, one has to understand, is actually just a piece of paper. Yeah, a lot of people try to fast track these things, but nothing beats what you're saying.
I actually approached a business called My Fitbox. They are in the business of selling healthy snacks, right? And their target markets are usually gyms, people who are like these healthy people who exercises a lot, right? So they were running this virtual run. This was like nearing the end of the MCOs. I mean, I knew the owner of the business, right? So I just approached him and said, hey, I want to help you do some stuff. Let me help you market this. We actually did it, right? We didn't charge anything, but we actually took a little bit of revenue share from the whole virtual run. It wasn't profitable, but it gave us this nice portfolio. right, that we actually marketed a virtual run before. You can just search up that case study. I actually put it up on Daily CMO. I'll just go to dailycmo.net, go to case studies, you probably see that case study in there as well. And this builds your portfolio because when clients come to me for consulting help, what they'll do is they'll ask me like, hey, have you done this before? Nobody will ask me for a certificate. So they're trying to base and see if I've done something before and I could apply what I learned, right, on their own business. That's the world of marketing.
When you share stories of like how you actually approach businesses, that is real hustle, man. When you go out down to the ground and you actually you cut through all the BS that's online. At the end of the day, people sort of put this pedestal on business. They think that it's this magical thing where you need to know a lot, you need to know everything in order to generate money. But at the end of the day, it's just about generating money, you see.
So as a marketer, right, sometimes when you're starting out, most probably be helping like micro businesses, small businesses. Let's just say you can increase a company's profit by 5%. Now, 5% in a small cafe is not much. But the same amount of work, if you do it for maybe a multinational company or a huge company, 5% is huge, right? It's probably millions in revenue. You want to look for the correct businesses to work for as well. And I've done this many, many times. I've worked like small businesses, hustle like crazy, increase their revenue, increase whatever, by amount of the percentage, but it's just not enough for them. And I felt like if I use the same effort towards a bigger, more stable company who knows their product, who knows the services, have a defined target audience, the impact will be so much more. Your portfolio will look so much, much better. Go to dailycmo.net. You can use the search function and search for leverage. You find that article. So there are 4 ways to leverage really. The first way of leveraging is basically, labor, right? So you're a business, you hire someone and that someone does something that you do not know. I mean, maybe he does things better than you. That's leverage. You're leveraging on his or her skill, right? The second leverage would be, money or capital, right? With more money, like you said, John, we can scale a business much, much faster. You can invest in systems, you can invest in more people, you can invest in so many other things, and your business will scale so much faster. Again, I don't think that's a right or wrong when it comes to scaling a business, whether you are bootstrap or whether you're taking a fund. Of course, with more money, definitely you'll be able to scale faster, right? The third leverage would be software or code. So we talked about this in the past podcast, ChatGPT, using AI softwares, using platforms to help you do the work, so you don't have to waste so much time on that anymore. Use software to leverage that. Now the fourth leverage would be media, content. Just like this podcast here, we record it once, it gets heard by 1%, 10%, and maybe in the future, millions of people, right? So there are 4 kinds of leverage you can take. Yeah, marketing is a lot about leveraging. I think we've talked a lot about marketing, the job sphere. Maybe we should end with this last one question here, yeah? 4 days work week for marketers, is it possible? What do you think?
I have to say I'm a bit cynical about Malaysia being able to adopt this, but I saw someone put up a poll on LinkedIn on this. You will not believe it, Reuben. 94% voted for yes. Do you think employers in Malaysia will ever see it that way?
For me, as an employer, I'm a little bit against of the 4 days work week thing. I am a huge advocate of flexible working. I think most people who want a 4-day work week, right, they're looking for freedom. Right, they just want more freedom in their time, so they can have some time to do something on the 5th day maybe. With flexibility, we can offer freedom for that, right? But I still think people should come to an office. Coming together and working together is a whole lot different experience than working virtually.
From home.
Yeah, it won't work for every industry. Like if you are someone who works in a factory, a little bit hard to have flexibility, right? For the new kind of work we are doing like these days where we can work with just a laptop, it doesn't really make sense to have this rigid 9 to 6 sort of like structure where you have to sit on a desk with your colleagues all day week.
Some of the top 5 factors when people are considering a new job, the top second answer was flexibility to work where and when I want. So it's interesting to hear you say that. And I think, 4-day work week, probably, like you said, it's not going to be possible in Malaysia, not in our lifetime maybe. Hopefully, but
flexibility, yes. Flexibility really yes. Yeah, and the good thing about marketers is most marketers we have the benefit of flexibility. We don't have to be in an office all day. And I think most companies who hires marketers, at least most will be able to give their marketers flexibility in their work. Yeah, good on you marketers. You are in a job that allows a lot of flexibility, right? And I think that's a good thing. The funny thing is that people who are given flexibility in a company, if you really observe, right, there are people who stay much, much longer with the company because they feel really, really comfortable with that. Marketing is a huge industry. I think it will never go away. Even though AI softwares exist and all that, still we'll need marketers. And although the entry barrier to being a marketer is low, you just need a computer, right? You stand a chance. We stand a chance of being exceptional marketer. Not one built out of like knowledge in how to use Facebook or how to use Google Ads, but one who understands the nuances and also the who understands their customers on a deeper level. So great marketers are people who understands customers, not people who actually, I know how to use this little button on Facebook, I know how the little hack.
Yes.
Those things runs out, right? But the skill of understanding customers and communicating with them, that will never go away.
A lot of times we think technology is like this magic bullet that's going to help us grow our marketing platforms so quickly. Nothing truly works until you go onto the ground and do the groundwork.
If you have any suggestions, you can always email us. You can drop me an email at Reuben, that's REUBEN @dailycmo.net, or just go to the site. You'll find a way to contact me and also John if you want. And I hope to see you in the upcoming episodes, I suppose.